I'm so excited, and I honestly thrive off of conversation. Like, this type of speaking gives me like, whew. So let's have a conversation. Let's talk, like, be interactive, be a part of this with me. I'm super excited to be here. But I'm Jenna Warner. My Instagram is Happy Strong Healthy RD. You guys can follow me and then put your phones away. No, I'm just kidding. But so when Tony asked me what I wanted to talk about today, I thought like the natural answer was what I do every day. I do behavior-based coaching. Then I started thinking about it, and I was like, but every single day is so different that like I don't really actually know how to define what I do, because what I do is meet people where they are, learn how to talk their language, and help them understand where they are right now, understand where they want to go, and what it's gonna take to get there. And I do that with behavior-based coaching without any numbers. So I don't do any macros. I really tell people not to weigh themselves. There's no scales involved, nothing like that at all. So like raise your hand if like that sounds really scary to you, to coach somebody without solidity of or validity of numbers, right? It scares me too, raise your hands. So, I mean, and the truth is that what I'm gonna tell you today are some actionable things that you can implement if you want to implement some behavior-based coaching in your own practices. I'm not saying that this way of practice is the only way by any means, because some of my peers are going to talk to you about completely different things. And I think that everybody is amazing in their own ways. But this is what I do, and this is what's worked for me. So any questions at any point in time, please raise your hands or just talk. Just let me know. I am going to use this cool little whiteboard for a minute too. But to backtrack a little bit, I have been a dietitian for 15 years. I've been in private practice for 2 years and 1 full year of 100% virtual coaching. From that perspective, I was actually writing down, I simplified my what I do statement while Tony was talking. So I'm just gonna read it to you so that it's a lot simpler than what I was normally going to say. But I work with people who are ready to quit their hamster wheel of dieting, under-eating and over-exercising, who want to learn how to eat right for the rest of their life with behavior-based coaching. So from that standpoint, yeah, it's really scary to use only behaviors, but we're gonna talk about how to do it. And there's a conversation that I had with somebody you guys might know. His name is Tony Steffen. Anyone hear of him? So here's my payback for going first. There's a conversation he and I had when we were actually recording for the nutrition certification. So here's a little preview. But he asked me what I do. And he asked me what I do with my clients to keep them invested without having the numbers to really say, like, you're on the right path, you're doing the things, right? So I asked him to think about a time that he either maybe ate too much of something or ate something that was previously restricted in his own life, which wasn't the case for him, but this is what I talk about with my clients, or ate something that made him feel anything other than happy after eating it. And he was like, oh, Jenna, last night, actually, I had 5 Reese's in a row, went to bed, and was super sluggish for my workout. Sorry, am I breaking HIPAA? We're not clients, right? Okay. So he told me he woke up the next morning and felt sluggish. His workout kind of sucked, and like it really just wasn't his best feeling. So I said to him, and he asked me, like, what would you do with a client like that? And I said, well, I'm gonna challenge you. I'm gonna say, like, let's learn from that experience. I want you to have that. But like, what would you feel if you had 4 Reese's? What would you feel if you had 3 Reese's? Would you enjoy 2 and be excited going into eating those Reese's, feel like really good during 1 and 2, and then afterwards we're like, wow, those were amazing and I'm gonna crush my workout tomorrow? Like maybe, right? So those are things that I start talking to my clients about, challenging them on the norms of what behaviors are outside of things like their digestion, which is so important. But when you can start to talk to people about how to bring things into their life in a way that manages their lifestyle, instead of focusing on what we have to bring out of it, it's a game changer in my book, because anybody on social media can tell you what not to eat. Those images are everywhere, right? And they get a lot more engagement than some of my posts. But that being said, the important thing is talking to people about, if wine is your thing, there is a point of diminishing returns, which is totally an Alex comment. I took that from her. So there is a point of diminishing returns with, how many glasses or how many Reese's make you feel a certain way. So what I do in the beginning with my clients is really talk to them about how they can maintain that feeling of happiness, again, and excitement about their kale salad with whatever's in it or their Reese's before they eat it, they can maintain the feelings of feeling good while they're eating that food, and that after they finish eating it, there's no regret, there's no shame, there's no physical pain, there's no discomfort, there's no feelings of taking them out of the moment of where they are. And the reason I can talk about this, and maybe not everybody has the same experiences, but I was that person that ate the 5 Reese's and then felt the pain, the shame, the regret, like the anger at myself, and did all the things to try and erase that from my mind. So using your own experiences and the behaviors that have worked for you to manage your own lifestyle is so invaluable. And if you think that right now, like while we're saying these things, that you maybe don't have those, I would challenge that. Because all of us have been at a family table where we've talked about food. All of us have been, at a party where maybe we overate at cocktail hour and then your mind kind of wandered outside of that party, right? You no longer were present with the people at the party because maybe your dress felt a little uncomfortable, or you were mad that you overate during cocktail hour because the dinner is going to be so good, or you got a little too tipsy and then you don't remember the rest of the party and it was a great party. Like all of those things, that's behavior-based coaching. Talking to people how to enjoy those settings while still reaching their goals. And it can happen. So how can it happen without numbers? So I'm gonna ask you guys some questions now. So when you think of behavior-based coaching, well, I already asked you if it scares you. Can I ask any brave person why it scares them? It scares me, so let's be even here. So tell me why it scares you. Right there, behind you first. Yeah, no, you. Yeah. What's your name?
My name is Wintana.
Hi, Wintana.
From Reset Lifestyle.
Yay, tell me.
So it scares me technically because most of the people I work with metrics all their lives.
Yeah.
And I'm a metric person as well. That's how I measure success or outcome. I'm also outcome-based. That's how I track the fit profile and, scale and things like that. So that kind of is scary because then I don't know what it would look like coaching. I mean, I do health coaching.
Yeah.
Work with behavioral modification and things like that. I work on habits. But it's kind of weird and crazy.
That's it, though.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like numbers are like something you compare with.
Totally. Numbers, you can't argue, right? You can't argue numbers. Exactly. And people argue with me all day long. And that's part of the fun, right? They'll argue with me, but I did all of this. I'm like, but did you drink your water? Well, no. Okay, so let's go back to that, right? So people will argue with you, and you're absolutely right that numbers don't lie. However, numbers cannot tell the whole story. Your lipid profile, sure, that's different. But let's talk about your weight or your body fat or measurements, right? That cannot tell the whole story. So I want you to challenge yourself on that to really help you see the bigger picture of what nutrition is. And nutrition coaching people, newsflash, is not about food. Most people that are coming to you know what's healthy and maybe what's a little less nutrient dense for them. That is not the problem. The problem really breaks down to the education behind the food, how to decipher education that's real and that's not, and the accountability. So I tell people all the time, oh, exactly what you're looking for, education, inspiration, and accountability. Oh my God, that's exactly what I do. Take that line, go for it. Because that's what we all need to do to help people understand that too much kale salad can also make you feel that way, that's not happy after eating it, right? That's a behavior modification. So yes, you're absolutely right. It's scary for those reasons because people can fight you, but you have to find other ways to measure that success, which is why I'm gonna use this beautiful whiteboard in a second. But did you have one too in front of her? Male dietitian? Yes. Hashtag you're one of 3 right now. 4. 5.
Similar questions because most clients will come and they'll say, all right, I want to be this. This is my goal.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, reframe their thought process.
And absolutely. And what I want you to what I've built my business around or rebranded my business around is that right there, right? So you want to help someone get there, but what happens when they get there if all they're doing is tracking their macros, right? So what happens? Do they take a cool picture and then it's game over afterwards? I did that and I never took the picture, because I was never happy, which is the other part, right? So you need to challenge them that they can get to their goal and they can reach that goal. First of all, it's going to take more time, but they need to reach it in a way that they can keep it. And the problem with social media is that nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about what happens on day 91 or 92 or 100. They talk about, I took this really cool picture after my 14-day challenge at the gym, and on day 15, you never saw me at the gym again, right? So like nobody talks about what to do. And I was that person too, doing double workouts and restricting and so on and so forth. And when I stopped doing those double workouts, my body stopped responding in that same way. But when I'm 95, I am not doing double workouts, but I'd still like to feel good about myself, right? So challenging people to find movement and eating patterns and behaviors that will work forever. So these are really good. So does anybody in here do only behavior-based coaching? Awesome. Yes. Standing together. Excellent. Yes. Yes. Well, I'm gonna let Claire answer that because I've actually never been certified or coached in intuitive eating before, but we're using and I don't want to step on toes, but we're using principles of intuitive eating without using that entire. It's a copyright. Claire, tell them. It's a copyrighted program that I do not use or market that I use. However, I will challenge people to think intuitively about their food. Because intuitive eating, people that, and again, I'm going to let Claire take this away, but I do help people lose weight, right? So I will, if someone has a weight loss goal, awesome, but they're gonna invest their time with me a lot longer than 30, 60, or 90 days, and we're not gonna use the scale or tracking macros or so on and so forth. So that's a great question, but I'm not an intuitive eating specialist. But there's an awesome one sitting right behind you who's gonna tell you all about it. So this is great. So the last question that I have for you, and then we're gonna put these up on the board, is can you tell me, I want like at least 5 of you to tell me how you would track behaviors with clients to keep them invested and moving forward and reaching their goals. Like what are some behaviors that you would track? I'm gonna call on my friends if you guys don't raise your hands. So everyone be prepared. Tell me. Excellent. Hunger levels. Who else?
Energy levels.
Awesome. Amazing. Yes. Go. Non-scale wins. And what would that be?
I ask my clients every week to tell me what their non-scale goals are. And basically anything that makes them proud.
Excellent. Amazing. Yes. Who else? Someone over here. Not you, Desi. You. Amazing. Yeah. Are they sleeping? Yes. Go ahead. Their mood. Yes. And if you guys don't see now that all of these things are not about food, but they are, like that's nutrition coaching, right? So bringing that all together. So maybe I won't write on the board, but I'm gonna tell you some behaviors that, and I also stole this line from Tony Marinucci, who you're gonna hear from next, was one of my favorite things she said on a Facebook Live. I don't think I've actually ever told you this, so thank you. But she said once that she stacks behaviors with her clients, right? That was one of my favorite lines you've ever said because it makes such sense, right? If you have a client right now that's not sleeping and they're not reaching their goals, you don't progress past the sleep. Once the sleep is solid, they're sleeping at night or they're finding ways to at least make efforts towards getting better quality sleep or more sleep, then you advance. So what are some other things that you can advance to, right? Water. Go ahead, Lynette. Hi. So, right. So, and that's a great question because people will fight you on everything, but you have to remind them that they hired you because you're the expert, right? People fight me on so many things, but I've never drank water. Okay, well, here we are. So why did you hire me today? Like, let's talk about why your body needs water and give them the science behind it. Give them the science why not sleeping for 15 years is not helping them reach their goals. You know, pull up an article, right? Like challenge them on that. Challenge them to make the efforts, buy the blue blocking glasses that Andre swears all the time, and get better sleep. So, you know, and that's the thing. So they can focus on water intake, sleep, stress management, acts of self-care. They can focus on what I call my rule of 3, which is 3 food groups per meal, 3 colors per meal, 3 to 4 hours apart, 3 meals per day, drinking about 3 liters of water, like making that something that they can follow up on. They can focus on fitness, movement, goals for that. steps if they're not active, right? They can focus on recovery. How are they recovering from those workouts if they're not eating? They feel really sore and they think that means they got a really great workout. No, it means that they're not recovering from their workouts, right? So you can track that. You can track energy levels. You can track preparedness for events or for trips. Like Tony is my roommate this weekend and Alex, and we all brought our own food, right? But these are behaviors that we've practiced and that we share with our clients, and strategies for events. So that's some behaviors that you can start with. The other main thing is okay, so how do you track this success? How am I doing on time, Ange? Okay, so how do you track this success if you're not tracking numbers? And this is the biggest takeaway of all takeaways. You need pictures. You need your clients to send you a picture before they start. Before your kickoff call with them, that picture needs to either be uploaded to whatever portal you're using or your email. And it's not a picture that's going to be shared without their permission, but it's a starting point. I don't call them progress photos. I call it, this is where we are today. And we're going to start here, and we'll track our successes from here or our changes from here. Because pictures don't tell the whole, the number on the scale doesn't tell the whole story. I have a client who actually posted on Instagram yesterday. She's actually a fellow mentorship dietitian, and she posted yesterday a picture of her. We worked together for 3 months. She gained 2 pounds. She looks like a different person. She feels better. She talked about the way that she feels. She talked about the changes in her, menstruation and her digestion and all of these other things that happen. She's less bloated, but the scale went up. So is that a win? Is that not a win? That's where you come in and show your clients that the scale cannot define us. We have to look beyond that, and you need those pictures. So you do need something to track. You do need something to show, the quality of what they're doing and helping them feel those things. And pictures are so important. So the other thing about pictures is you need more than one. So I always tell clients front, side, but not with their arms here, because then you can't see anything, and then from the back. If they send me really bad pictures, really unclear selfies, we do them again, because those are your measurements of success, and that's imperative. And the other piece about that is don't make people take new pictures too soon, because change takes time. That's how you keep them invested in their change. And in 2 weeks, the pictures might not change. It might, great, but it might not. And then you're kind of selling yourself short in that respect as well. So that's two. So lastly, my biggest measures of success without numbers, I'm gonna share with you right now, okay? I was gonna write it down, but I don't have time. So digestion. Are they going to the bathroom? Are they going every other day? Are they going once a week? Because I have clients that come to me going to the bathroom once a week. I'm that's just not okay, at all. So that's huge. Digestion for women, their cycles. Are they having more symptoms, less symptoms? Did they not get a pimple this time around because their hormones are more balanced? All of those pieces. Energy in the morning, energy at 3 o'clock, energy at nighttime. Sleep quality, how much sleep, strategies for stress, how they're implementing those things, how their feelings are around food, their cravings, their control issues with food. If there is an item, I actually have a client doing this right now that I made her buy bagels this week because she told me that every time she has bagels in her house, she has to eat all of them. And her only action item for this week was to eat 1 bagel. That was it. That was what we talked about for 30 minutes. Right? That is a behavior. So she can tell me how that bagel made her feel, what having that in the house was like for her. And if she was not successful with it, we'll talk about that on our next call as well. Their skin, your hydration levels, what they've added into their lives instead of what they've taken away, their fitness goals, how their clothes are fitting, new routines that they've implemented, more time that they've spent with family, more time that they've enjoyed with family and friends, instead of obsessing about food and what's there and not going to be there. Their confidence, their ability to travel, how they come home from trips, how they prepare for trips. If they gained 1 pound on a vacation instead of the 5 or 6 that they normally do, that's a win. And then how to manage events and holidays and success in that regard. And I want you guys to start thinking about nutrition coaching as puzzle pieces. All your clients are going to be completely different. You're going to use different pieces of these strategies with all of your clients, and you're going to learn how to speak their language, meet them where they are, and show them where they can be if they stick with you. And so I'm going to end with a quote that's from The Power of Habit, which is a great book if you haven't read it, but it says, "The real power of habit is the insight that your habits are what you choose them to be. If you believe you can change, if you make that a habit, the change becomes reality. Thank you so much. Did I do it? Am I good? Okay. Good.